We are going to continue representing fractions and decimals. We are going to continue representing fractions and decimals. If the grid is the whole, 100 parts in this case, 100 pieces, if the grid is the whole, then what part of each grid is shaded? You are going to write a fraction and a decimal below each grid. So under each grid, we are going to write the fraction and decimal that's represented. One thing that might help us is your place value chart, your decimal place value chart. At this time, go ahead and get those notes from yesterday so you have them ready. If you haven't finished, you may want to pause this video to go back and take notes. And just to remind you what that looks like, this is our place value chart with decimals, whole side on the left and then parts on the right. So make sure that you have this handy because it's going to help you and it will also help us to read the decimals that we write. Back to the task at hand. For number 1, I can see that I have 30 shaded squares. I know that because each rod is 10. So I counted 10, 20, 30. You could count them individually, but it would take you much longer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Yep, still 30. How can I represent that with a fraction? Let's start with the fraction. First, I'm going to write my denominator. My denominator is how many pieces I have. How many pieces do I have on this entire grid? How many little squares? Yes, 100. We know that's a base 10 block for 100. 100 is my denominator because it tells me the total number of pieces that I have. What's my numerator? Yes, my numerator, my top number, is the amount that's shaded. And in this case, it is 30. My fraction is 30 100ths. 30 100ths. I have 30 shaded pieces of the 100 that are actually here. If my fraction is 30 100ths, how can I write that as a decimal? It may help looking back at this chart. I'm going to my chart. I can see that this is my place, my hundredths place value. 30 hundredths. 30 hundredths. So my decimal for my fraction is 30 hundredths. How can I write that? 0, because I don't have any whole grids shaded, right? Do you see a whole grid shaded for number 1? No, we only have a piece. So in this example, we have 0 whole numbers, 0 and 30 hundredths, 0 and 30 hundredths. Let's do number 2 together. What is my denominator? My bottom number, my denominator, tells me how many pieces I have total. If we count those squares one by one, what is my denominator? Yes, 100. Just like before, I still have 100 squares on my grid. My denominator is 100. What about my numerator? What is my top number? Yes, 9, because I have 9 shaded squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 is my numerator, my top number, because I have 9 shaded squares. As a decimal, do I have any whole parts? Do I have any whole grids shaded in? No. Because I don't, I have 0 as my whole number, 0 and 0 decimal point. How can I write 9 hundredths? Is this right? 0.9? If we write 0.9, we would read this decimal as 9 tenths. But we said we have 9 hundredths. How can we write that? Yes. 0.09, decimal point 0.09. Now, when I go back to my place value chart and I write 0.9, now it reads as 9 hundredths. We are really getting the hang of this. Well done. On your own, go ahead and complete number 3. On your own, write a fraction and a decimal below the grid for number 3, just like we did for 1 and 2. For number 4, 5 and 6, you don't have to write the fraction today. Just color the amount that's listed. Color the decimal that's listed. If we are going to color 8 tenths of the grid, how much would we color? If we're going to color 8 tenths, how much would we color? Would we just color 8 squares? Would we just color 8 squares? Let's try that. I'm going to use my drawing tool.
This one, but I can do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Is that 8 tenths? If I divided my grid into 10 sections, did I just color 8 of them? No, you're right. That's just 8 hundredths because I have 100 pieces. For this example, I'm going to color 8 tenths. There's 2 tenths, 3 groups of 10 or 3 tenths, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 8 tenths are colored. All right, guys, go ahead and continue with 5 and 6. Pause this video to continue on your own with 5 and 6. You're going to color 4 hundredths of the grid for number 5. For number 6, 53 hundredths of the grid. Finally, practice. The numbers 81, 27, and 45 are all multiples of what? Remember yesterday we had our factors and we said that 9 and 3 were our factors. 9 times 3 equals 27. So 27 is a multiple for 9. Remember we talked about that? So I want you to tell me what numbers can we multiply together for 81, 27, and 45. They're all multiples of what numbers? For number 8, list the first 10 multiples of 6. What are the first 10 multiples of 6? Yep, 6. And then if we add 6 plus 6, 12. That's the second multiple. It's the third multiple. 18. Very good. So you would keep going, listing the first 10 multiples of 6. We're adding 6 each time we go to a different line. Once you finish, you will submit this assignment. Once you finish, submit this assignment. Before I end this video, I am going to go over number 7 again. I'm going to explain that so we're not confused. The numbers 81, 27, and 45 are all multiples of what number? Let me explain it this way. What numbers can go in there evenly? How many groups of, we obviously said 1 is the first multiple. So we can divide 81 and have 81 groups of 1. Can we take this number 81 divided by 2 for 2 equal groups? No, we can't. What about 3? Yes, we absolutely can. If we had 81 and put it in different groups of 3, we'd have 27 pieces in each group of 3. Therefore, 3 is a multiple for 81. Is 3 a multiple for 27? Yes, it is, because 9 times 3 equals 27. What about 45? Is 3 a multiple for 45? Absolutely, because 15 times 3 equals 45. Can you find the last one? Can you find the last one? I know you can. Once you finish, just submit it. And that's all she wrote for this assignment. Thank you.